Greetings, everyone. Dr. Brian Scott with you. We are studying where we are in God's timetable as we approach the end of time. And I really encourage you to go back and search out some of our previous podcasts where we've gone into great detail to explain and describe where we are on God's timetable. Suffice it to say, the bottom line is this: we're very close to the end. We're very close to what we call the rapture of the church, us believers who are whisked off the earth without having to go through death. That will be followed by 7 years of tribulation, and I can assure you, you do not want to be here for that. So please catch some of our earlier podcasts. You can find all of them on our personal website, insighttotheendtimes.com, or at Victory Christian Center, spelled CENTRE.com, and you can catch up to date with us. Today I want to share with you about the loss of freedoms in our land and what's going on there, because this is indicative of the last days. We're losing our freedoms. This is September of 2022. And so roughly 30 months ago, we entered into what was called the pandemic. But really, we entered into the time frame where our liberties and our freedoms were going to be taken from us without our even putting up a fight. We have had to submit to these mandates that they instituted and brought into effect. They brought them in very quickly, and it was a do or die situation. You do it or else. We've had mask mandates, double mask mandates, triple mask mandates. Hallelujah. We've had distance mandates, 6 feet apart, not 5 feet 11 inches, and not 6 feet 3 inches, 6 feet apart. Where'd they come up with that number? We've had directional mandates. You can only go down this direction on the aisle. If someone's coming the other direction, call the authorities. We've had vaccine mandates. And all of this has been imposed on us unilaterally by so-called scientists or medical experts, etc., and especially by our government. And what's happened? People agreed. They capitulated. They submitted. They allowed themselves to be in agreement with it and do it without even knowing anything about it. Now, I believe the greatest problem we faced in the pandemic was fear. Fear became rampant. Fear is the opposite of faith. Fear is of the enemy. Fear is of the devil. Fear will take you to hell if you pay a lot of attention to it. I'm pretty strong on this because I see things in the spirit and I see things in the natural that are showing us that our freedoms are being taken from us so quickly and we can't get them back. It's unlikely we'll get them back. Now, don't miss the point here. Please don't miss the point. I'm not opposed to the fact that there's a virus out there. I'm not denying it. I'm not saying anything about the virus. That's a real issue. People do get sick. Some people do die. But what I'm taking exception to is the overreach by our government and so-called experts telling us that this is the only way we're going to survive. And in so doing, our rights were taken from us, our freedoms were taken from us. Don't you remember when you couldn't even go into certain aisles of big box stores? And don't you remember when every small store was closed and the big stores, the mega stores were open? Do you know how many people lost their businesses? Do you know how many people lost their jobs? And do you know how hard it is today to hire anyone for a job, like a fast food restaurant or something? We are in a time of seducing, deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons taking effect here. These are never-ending mandates. These overreaching mandates are intrusions into our freedom. And people have accommodated this without question. You can't even discuss it with most people. They just think you're completely off your rocker if you question any of it. Well, my goodness. And then our government here in Canada, they decide they're going to just seize bank accounts, just automatically. Without merit, without any status, just seize the bank accounts. They're going to lock people up. They're going to monitor our electronic devices. They're going to know where we are and what we're doing. None of that was authorized. That's called freedom lost. Why am I sharing this? And I'm probably a little more forceful than I should be, but because it's been propagated by seducing spirits, deceiving spirits, and doctrines of demons. Folks, we're in the last days. These are last days. You ought to just be aware these are last days. And perilous times are here. And we've got to stand up and say, wait a minute, what's the Bible say about this? What's the Bible say about this? Fear is a killer. Fear is a destroyer. Faith is a victorious winner. So let's wake up. Let's not be asleep. Remember how you cook a frog. Put them in tepid water. Heat it up very slowly until you've got it boiling. And that's what's happening to our freedoms. I don't know what level the water is at, but I would tell you it's more than tepid. See you tomorrow. Are you blessed? Amen.